What's up, guys? It's Dr. Jim. I am your CBD expert, your natural healthcare expert, and your worldwide virtual health coach. And I want to welcome you to tonight's live. Tonight's going to be awesome. Tonight's topic is CBD oil and hot flashes. No. CBD oil and insomnia. No. Guess what? All of those are symptoms, and we're going to be talking about CBD oil and menopause, right? Who wants to know about that, right? That's a big topic, and I don't care what age you are. If you're a woman and you're 30, guess what? That's in your future, so you're going to want to know about it, because the best way to handle an issue that's coming up in the future is to be prepared for it in the now, all right? I don't care if you're a guy, because guess what? If you're a guy and you have a lady in your life, guess what? It's going to be in your future, so you better understand what's going on. And if there's a way that you can help, you want to be there. And listen, if you're going through menopause, then this is information you are going to want to know. So please like this video and share it. But tonight's topic is CBD oil and menopause. All right? Now, when you're getting on, if you wouldn't mind, let me know where you're coming in from and whether you're watching it live or on the replay. Because I like to know, are you getting the full energy of Dr. Jim live? Are you getting it on the replay? But either way, tonight's going to be awesome because this is a hot flash topic, right? I had to do it. It was too easy. All right? So the title is CBD oil and menopause. The disclaimer for tonight is I am not your doctor tonight. You're not my patient tonight. And there's absolutely nothing about this video that constitutes a doctor-patient relationship. So please don't change anything about your current medical treatment because you heard me talk about something cool on this video. Second is CBD oil is a natural supplement. It is not a drug. Therefore, it is not intended for the diagnosis, treatment, or cure of any specific disease or condition, including anything that we're going to talk about on this video. All right? So tonight's topic is CBD oil and menopause. Now, a couple things. I'm going to do my very best. I'm going to do my very best to make this a little shorter and a little more concise. I got some positive feedback from last week's video that it was a little shorter. So I'm going to try to make this happen quick. Get in, get out, give you the information you want, and you can move on, and hopefully it's highly shareable that way. So why is menopause so important? Well, number one thing I want you to understand about menopause is supposed to happen, all right? Menopause is not a disease. It's not something to be avoided. It's not something you're fighting against. Menopause is a natural part of a transition through life. And the problem is we very much treat it like a disease. Like, hey, my female hormones are going down, my body's not making enough of them. Hey, shouldn't I just be able to... All right, this is kind of the whole big thing that we're looking at. So I'm going to quit looking at comments because it distracts me. So menopause is a big deal, but it's not a disease. But a lot of people are suffering with symptoms of menopause. And if you have symptoms of menopause, you probably know, you know far better than I do. And if you have menopause symptoms, you can put me in the comments and just, so we all know if you feel comfortable doing that. But what are because this is what's unique. There are certain people that go through menopause and they have little to no symptoms at all right? And then other people go through menopause and they have a ton of symptoms. And so we're going to discuss a little bit about why that is, all right? And why that happens. So what are some of the symptoms of menopause? And I wrote them down just so I don't want to discount. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. I picked a couple things to focus on, and I realize you ladies out there, if you have more personal questions you want to ask me, you can always direct message me, and I'll do my best to answer them, all right? But some of the main ones are things like fatigue, hot flashes, night sweats, insomnia, anxiety, irritability, and weight gain. And a lot of times that weight gain is kind of right in the middle, right? If you guys know what I'm talking about, yeah, you can put me in the comments. Thank you, ladies, for commenting, all right? So how could CBD oil possibly help with the symptoms of menopause? Well, first we have to understand what's happening, all right? So number one, when you get to a certain age, when menopause starts to happen, what starts to happen is your ovaries, which make all of your female hormones, they start to make less and less of those female hormones. All right. Now, here's the thing. It's not that they don't make any of them. They just start making less and less, and eventually they will not make any. But your body already knows this. Let's realize that your body was incredibly well designed, and what happens is your adrenal glands actually start taking over making your female hormones as your ovaries quit making them. So what happens is your ovaries start making less and less female hormones. Normal, all right? Your adrenal glands then actually take over the job of making female hormones. Now, there will be a little bit of a drop, but it shouldn't be a huge drop, and your adrenals take over making it. That is also normal, all right? But let me ask you guys a question. Your adrenal glands, all right? These are also known as your stress glands, all right? So I'm going to ask, this is an open question to all the women on this live right now. How many of you maybe think that you have burnt out your adrenal glands in your lifetime? They're your stress glands, right? So if you've had a lot of stress in your life, right? Maybe you were raising kids and working a job and trying to, listen, I'm a husband and I realize that we're not that easy. So you're doing all this, you're trying to be superwoman, and man, your adrenal glands are burnt out, all right? If you think you've burnt out your adrenal glands, go ahead and put burnt out in the comments, all right? So what's happened is you've been doing all this stuff, and your adrenal glands are your stress glands, and they completely create your stress glands, they're fight or flight, they're going all that. But when you go into menopause, they are what take over making your female hormones. But if you've burnt out your adrenal glands, guess what happens? Your ovaries start making less and less of them, all right? And your ovaries start making less and less of them, and your adrenal glands are supposed to take over. But guess what? Yeah, all you ladies have already put it out there. They are burnt out. They can't do it. And this is what I want you to understand. The stress hormones they make, adrenaline, cortisol, norepinephrine, these stress hormones are really designed to save your life, right? Like those are stress hormones that, like, if you were to get attacked, they would kick in and you could be able to run or fight or do something, all right? So your body prioritizes those as being the most important. All right. Unfortunately, at a certain age, the hormones that would be connected to things like reproduction are significantly lower on the totem pole. Or significantly lower on the scale than what should be the idea of adrenal glands and cortisol and adrenaline, because those could save your life. So if your adrenal glands are worn out and they have to decide which one they're going to make cortisol or adrenaline. All right. And so what happens is those stressed out, worn out adrenal glands, guess what? Now they can't make enough of your female hormones, and there's a big drop off. Now guess what you have? Tons of menopause symptoms. All right. So most of the symptoms of menopause really, yes, it is natural to make less female hormones. It is natural to go through menopause. But what happens is when your stress glands are burnt out, there's a huge drop off in female hormones, and that's when it becomes unnatural. That's when the normal function of those adrenal glands can't keep up, and there's this huge drop off in female hormones, and that's when all of the symptoms like hot flashes and weight gain and irritability and all those things kick in when you go into menopause. All right? So the big thing we want to talk about is, how can CBD help? Well, what did we just talk about? We talked about your adrenal glands and adrenal burnout, right? Or adrenal fatigue is another way to say it. Well, guess what happens? Those stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, that your body's constantly trying to pump out, what they have found out is that CBD oil helps reduce your stress hormones. It helps reduce your adrenaline and your cortisol. All right? So if you have less of a stress response, then there's less fluctuations up and down, and that's going to help with sleep and insomnia and all kinds of things associated with menopause. When you can mute the adrenaline and cortisol response, then you're giving your adrenal glands the chance to be able to say, hey, I can focus more on making female hormones because I have less of a stress response to worry about, right? Isn't that awesome? Because there's something known as the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, that's in your brain, pituitary adrenal axis, all right? So what happens is the hypothalamus, which is in your brain, which responds to neurotransmitters, things like stress neurotransmitters, like glutamate, gets things hyperexcited, and GABA, which tends to calm things down, and serotonin, which makes us feel good. Well, we know that CBD has a positive impact on GABA, and it has a positive impact on serotonin. And if those things help calm the hypothalamus, then the hypothalamus is going to be like, hey, I'm calm. And that's going to tell the pituitary gland, hey, I'm calm. And then the pituitary gland is going to tell your adrenal glands, hey, I'm calm. And that's going to calm down that axis. Therefore, your adrenal glands can focus more on making female hormones and less on making stress hormones. That sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Because if you are in menopause, through menopause, you want your adrenal glands to do the best they can at making your female hormones. Because then there's less of a drop-off and you feel a lot better. All right, and so that's number one. All right, it helps modulate the adrenaline and the cortisol and the stress hormones, and it helps affect your hypothalamus. It helps the balance neurotransmitters in the brain so that it can calm down that hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. All right, super important. It's probably the number one reason, because I only had another reason. Number two. All right, reason number two. You know, I can't get through barely a single episode now without talking about your microbiome, all right? And your microbiome is inside of your gut. It's all the critters, all the good stuff, the bad stuff, everything that's living in your gut. And what they have found out is that your microbiome is integral to, so most hormones are bound. They're bound to a protein. And the only way they can actually have an impact in the body is if they become free form. And your body has to kind of separate it from the protein and allow that to float throughout the body. So estrogen is bound up. Now what happens is the gut microbiome has actually been shown, when it's working properly, when you have lots of diversity in your gut microbiome, it's one of the things that helps regulate free estrogen floating around in the body. What? Isn't that awesome? So making sure that your gut microbiome is healthy and calm and good, because what they found out is intestinal inflammation, all right, intestinal inflammation interferes with free estrogen floating around. Basically meaning that your gut being a problem makes it so that you don't have enough, you're not going to release as much free estrogen in your bloodstream. Now, if you've already gone through menopause, right, and we already know there's going to be some drop off in your female hormones. Now, what if your gut microbiome's all messed up and now you're not getting what you have is all bound up and it's not free floating out in the body? That'd be a problem, right? Well, here's what's cool about CBD. We've talked about it a million times. I'm going to talk about it again. CBD oil has a positive impact on the microbiome. Number one, it has an affinity for the good guys and helps kind of kill off some of the bad guys. It helps decrease gut inflammation. The research has already said that gut inflammation interferes with free estrogen floating around in the body. So if you can reduce gut inflammation, you're going to have less bound up or toxic estrogens, and you're going to have more of the free floating, and it's going to have the estrogen effect that we want it to have. All right? Because there's good estrogens and bad estrogens, and unfortunately, the free floating just straight estrogen is actually a good estrogen. It's the bad estrogens that everyone's concerned about, and I agree. And so, because good estrogen can actually help you lose weight. But if you bind up all your good estrogen, you can gain weight, all right? If you have too many stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, those are things that raise blood sugar, and they make you gain weight, and they make you gain weight in the middle, right? But if you can reduce those, then you're going to have less weight gain in the middle. You're going to be able to sleep better. You're going to have less anxiety. Like all of these things, that's what CBD oil does. So number one, it has a positive impact on stress hormones and the HPA axis. Number two is it helps with the gut microbiome, which affects free estrogen floating around in the body, because we know that taking care of your adrenal glands are incredibly important because they are ultimately the organ that's taking over making all of your female hormones when you go through menopause. All right? How's that sound, right? Sounds awesome. And this is what I want you to know. So going forward, what's the best way to kind of help, number one, just like I said at the beginning of this video, the very, very best way to handle menopause symptoms is if you're 30 right now and you're not in menopause, start reducing your stress. You know, if you start taking CBD oil now, you have the ability to balance out that HPA axis, and you're going to have less stress hormones. And your adrenal glands will be less burnout when you get to 40, 45, 50, 55. All right? And if they're less burnout when you get there, you're going to be better prepared to go through menopause, and there'll be less of a drop-off. So that's number one. Now, if you're already there, guess what? CBD oil is awesome because of all the reasons that I just talked about. All right? Now, there's certainly additional things that you can do to support your adrenal glands, to feed the adrenals, all those kind of things. But definitely you want to take CBD oil because it's going to help with night sweats. It's going to help with insomnia, anxiety. It's going to help with hot flashes because those hot flashes are kind of like your adrenal glands sputtering, and you're sputtering out adrenaline and cortisol. And you know, if you notice all these symptoms of menopause, don't they all sound like a stress reaction? Listen, hold on, let me go back. Like rapid heartbeat, night sweats or sweats, insomnia, anxiety, irritability. That all sounds like a stress reaction, right? Well, it is. And so if you can do things to help calm down your adrenal glands, it's going to help you with the stress reaction. Now, really, really important, all right? You can't just go out and start taking any CBD oil you find anywhere because there's a lot of garbage out there, and I certainly wouldn't trust my mom, who's watching. Hi, Mom. I wouldn't trust my mom taking just any old junk that she found anywhere, all right? So my mom, thank you, Mom, for being on, takes what I recommend, all right? And she loves it, and she's doing great with it. My stepdad takes it as well. Thank you, God. Love you. And so it's very important that you get a good CBD oil that's third-party tested, that's grown in the United States, that's CO2 extracted, like that's pure, that there's only like 2 ingredients, like all these things, all right? So if you want a really awesome CBD oil and you want to know what I recommend, all right, then what I'm going to recommend you do is just in the messages, put in the comments, put in info. And if you put in info in your messenger, you're going to get a link to where you can order what I recommend, all right, from me. Now listen, if somebody else sent you this video, then by all means, order from them. That's great, all right? But if you want to order from me, you can click it in the link. You can order from me. If you need to ask what should you get, you can ask me questions by responding to that message, all right? Number 2, I want to help you be successful in the CBD oil business. It's growing dramatically. We're helping a lot of people, but I need your help as much as you could benefit from my help. So if you'd like to be on my team, helping spread the word about CBD oil and how you can help your friends with CBD oil and how you could make a little side income with CBD oil. If you'd like to be on my team, if you'd like to take a free tour of the business, then just in the marketing system that we're using, go ahead and put info in the comments. We'll send you a link. Now, if someone else sent you this and they want you to be on their team and you want to be on their team, by all means, please get back with them. And lastly, listen, I realize that there's a lot of women out there that are struggling, all right? And they're struggling with the weight gain and the hot flashes and the irritability and the mood swings and the night sweats and just not feeling awesome, all right? And you're like, well, you know, I'm going through menopause, my hormones are all screwed up. Listen, if you'd like to know the ideal eating style for you while this is happening so that you can be the very best you can feel the best you can, if you'd like to know the exact, you know, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, any deficiencies that you might have, that if you were to fix those, that would help feed your adrenal glands and you could naturally make more female hormones because to the level that your body should be producing right now. If you'd like my help personally in accomplishing all that, if you would like to know about a test that would help us find out all that information and be able to customize as precise to you as your fingerprint, a customized plan to help you not only just get past the symptoms like low energy and hot flashes and night sweats and all that stuff, but if you're struggling with the weight associated with it, any of those kind of problems, all right, then what I want you to do is I want you to put info in the comments, because tomorrow night I am doing a free webinar about a test that gives us all that information. It's the most advanced test in the world of its kind, and I am in a collaboration with a group of medical doctors in Greece that they've treated over 40,000 people with autoimmune conditions, chronic health conditions, obesity, all of those things. And we have an 85% success rate. If you would like to know about it, if you're in menopause and you have weight gain and you feel garbage, and maybe you also have a thyroid problem along with adrenal fatigue, and you have all these issues, and you're like, listen, I tried this one guy's guru protocol and it maybe helped a little while, and I'm taking these vitamins, but I don't know if it's what it is, and I want to get CBD oil and I think that'll help. But listen, if you want a comprehensive plan and you want to know exactly what you should be doing, and you want somebody to help you do that, then what I want you to do is go ahead and put info in the comments, and in Messenger we're going to send you a link. You can register for the webinar that I'm doing tomorrow night. So please put info in the comments and we will get you set up for the webinar. The webinar is going to be awesome, all right? I've done it a number of times right now. The results that people love the webinar, first of all, but then the results people are getting from the program are ridiculous, all right? So I want you to put info in the comments. If you want the CBD oil that I recommend, put info in the comments. If you want to be on my team, put info in the comments. And thank you, Kathy. Kathy just said the webinar is very informative. Watch if you can. Yes, Kathy, thank you so much. So that is it. That is how CBD oil can help with menopause. If you'd like more in-depth help with it, then please put info in the comments and register for that webinar. It's going to be awesome for you, all right? So just like I tell my son every day before he goes to school, be your very best today. Hashtag never quit. And I believe that God wants the very, very best for you. And the day you believe that could change your life forever. Have an awesome, awesome night.